Hello and welcome to Shifty Crab News Break. I'm one of your hosts, Terry Jeffs, and joining me today is the best beard in the business, Vince Haley.
What's going on, Terry? It's a lovely day for news.
It is a lovely day for news. Vince, you've got so many beard introductions. I just don't know what to go with these. So we got the beard of Gears, the beard of
That's
War,
the beard of War.
the best beard of War, the best beard in the business. What's your favorite? What's the go-to?
Oh, that's a hard one because I really love both of them. Yeah, best beard in the business, obviously. It's great.
I feel like that's becoming the standard now. I feel like that's got to be the one.
It seems to be.
But tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Also, joining us to complete the Shifty Crab Triforce of Power is the campaigner, reigner, the debater, dominator, Mr. Adam Very. How are you, Adam?
I'm great. Thank God we didn't go back to Master Debater. Like,
You always want to chuck that one in there, though, don't you? I feel like you want that. I feel like you want that on there.
I don't think I do, because I feel like we already struggle with a lot of our shows, like, you know, making it PG. There's a lot of swearing. And if you come out of the gates with Master Debater, it's not boding well for the show. So I'm happy with whatever you want to call it. I'm just happy to be here.
Happy to be here, indeed. We've got a lot of stuff to kind of talk about today in the news. But before we get to that, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping and let you guys know that our new episode of Campaign Mode is live, where we discuss what is the greatest games console exclusive ever, which is a really, really good one, really fun one. Both got 3 amazing choices on that. Go check that out if you can. And give it a like and a share and all that good stuff. And also our latest episode of the Shifty Crab podcast is also live, where we recast the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which was good fun. Real good fun. That. It was good. And obviously we just talk a bunch of nonsense about games and food and all sorts, as we normally do on the podcast. But yes, you go check that out now. But enough of that, because this is the I forgot what show this is. This is the Shifty Crab News Break, not the podcast. This is News Break, where we discuss all the best gaming news of the week that we can't wait to get our claws on. It's been a long week. It's Thursday, and we talk about all the games we can't wait to get our claws on. I already said that. And let's just get straight to it, guys. We got 10 items on the list today. Let's start with number 1, which we've just chucked in straight hot off the press. Hideo Kojima is reportedly in talks with Xbox over the publication of his next game. This is over at Games Radar by Ali Jones. Hideo Kojima is reportedly in talks with Xbox to publish his next game. According to a report from VentureBeat, the Death Stranding and Metal Gear Solid developer is in talks with Microsoft about publishing his next game, according to a source familiar with the matter. The report also suggests that the potential deal has been in the works for several weeks already, stating that Xbox chief Phil Spencer deliberately featured a statue of the Kojima Productions company mascot in the background of a recent stream as a hint towards the partnership. It's not known whether the deal has been signed yet, but VentureBeat also suggests that Kojima is the focus of a Microsoft plan to leverage Japanese talent. Spencer has previously denied reports that Xbox is turning its attention to the region, in which it has historically underperformed in comparison to PlayStation. When the PlayStation and Xbox Series X launched in November 2020, Sony's new console outsold Microsoft's effort by nearly 5-1. Whether or not Xbox is focusing on Japanese developers, there's little denying that the potential exclusivity offered by a publishing deal with Kojima would be a significant coup for a console family that has struggled with big-name exclusives in recent years, and as a potent addition to the recent Bethesda acquisition. With no official announcement from either Microsoft or Kojima Productions, it's worth remembering that even if these talks did happen, there's no guarantee that an agreement will be made. It's also important to note that Death Stranding, Kojima's first game with his new studio, was a PlayStation launch exclusive. That said, the studio confirmed it was working on a new game back in October last year. with some suggestions pointing to an announcement that's not very far away. Adam, what are your initial thoughts on this?
Okay, so the announcement, if it's going to happen, clearly E3. Like, that's big enough for E3 for the Microsoft conference. If it's going to happen, this would be a huge coup for Microsoft. Like, Kojima's kind of been the PlayStation mascot for a while. Even when the PS5 was released, he was really heavy on praising the PS5. So if this is going to happen, this is massive. But it's a risk because I don't think there's much Microsoft could do to really corner, obviously, especially the Japanese market. Like, they don't do well. It's Sony's backyard. It seems a bit like a fruitless endeavor. Do I think this will happen? It's 50-50. It's 50-50. I think the more likely thing to happen is his next game isn't exclusive to either. And that's the deal they're working on, potentially, that it's on both consoles. But with Microsoft and all the money they have, you can never rule it out. And Phil Spencer having the statue in the background is an interesting point of this. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Vince, are we getting any Kojima Xbox exclusive goodness?
I mean, like Adam said, I don't think it's going to be exclusive. They may be partnering with them to bring it multi-platform, but then talking specifically about Xbox, it could be a Game Pass Day One thing. Kind of like what we saw with, Outriders recently, and then MLB The Show. It's going to be, Xbox Game Pass Day One. That might be the talks they're having, because I forget, like, Death Stranding was kind of PlayStation writing Kojima a blank check to bring an exclusive to them. Sony doesn't necessarily own Kojima Productions, right?
No, they don't know.
So
they're an independent
chances
studio.
are, the way I see it, it could be his next game has always been planned to be a multi-platform thing, and that this talk could be for a Game Pass release. That's just kind of my sort of read on it. Plus, I mean, it's Phil Spencer. He has a track record of hiding things in the background of his, streams for major important announcements and stuff like that. So, I mean, that could be significant. It could just be something he has in his office. You never know with him. You never know.
Yeah, I don't think, like, to mirror what you were saying, Adam, I don't think that Xbox are going to have this focus on the Japanese market. I think they're done with that now. They've tried that so many times and it just got them nowhere. Japan just don't want to buy into that brand. It just, you look at the numbers and it's never paid off. They tried to do that heavily in the early 360 days and it just didn't. You just got to pick your battles, and that's just not one they need to focus on right now. And like, Kojima's not it. The audience for Kojima's stuff is not Japan focused. It's like, that's completely separate.
Western.
If like exactly. So it's just got a huge Western market. Could I see them doing an exclusive? That's what you said. It's like with Microsoft, you just don't know. They could drop that news, and that is a possibility. But I do think it is. It's more likely that it is. Like, I never imagined that his next game was going to be a PlayStation exclusive anyway. I think that was very much just a Death Stranding thing. It was like his return, he's going back to where he started, kind of. And I think the next game, whatever that franchise will be multi-platform. I'd hope so anyway. But as with I remember that clearly with the statue in the background of Phil Spencer. But he's got a Switch in the background. He's got all kinds of stuff like going on there. He's very much open that he loves all kind of like gaming platforms and things like that. But it also could be a nod to Kojima Productions that, because they are going to be getting one of their games on their console as well. So it's just kind of just showing that love on and like a little tease there.
Yeah, I'm guessing it will be, if someone put a gun to my head and said, what's this going to be? I would say that at E3, in the Microsoft conference, the reveal of the Kojima game will be there, but it will say at the end, obviously Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Nokia N-Gage. They're the that's what it's going to be on. Like I just don't think there's a way that Kojima isn't going to release on the PlayStation.
You just don't know, though. I mean, look what happened with Tomb Raider, with Rise of the Tomb Raider, you know? Tomb Raider was always a franchise synonymous with PlayStation, and then they like decided, I know it was only a year, like, but they just go, oh yeah, actually we're not releasing it on the PlayStation. So weird, but you just don't, money talks.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
What do you guys think it will be, though? I know we've had this conversation previously before, but now with this, that can change things a little bit. What do you like? Is it going to be an existing IP, or
no,
like that they kind of no?
Not if it's going to Xbox as well, because the IPs that it would have been are synonymous with PlayStation more. I'd say.
And I don't mean a Konami IP, because that you can't deal with that stuff anyway. That's like
yeah, exactly. It'd be Kojima. So I think it'd have to be an original IP. You using the Fox engine? Is it the Fox engine? Fox engine. Yeah. I can't imagine he would go back to something right now. He seems to be in this creative bubble where he just likes to create new things.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's what I want.
It'll be I be honest, unless he was heavily involved in a new Metal Gear Solid, I don't want him to go back to anything else. I want him just to create his own balmy stuff and see what sticks. Throw it all against the wall and see what happens.
We'll have to wait and see what he drops at E3. And speaking of E3, on to news story number 2. Nintendo, Xbox, and Ubisoft are back for a digital-only E3 for 2021. This is over gamesindustry.biz, and the story is by Christopher Dring. E3 2021 will return this June in digital form and has been backed by Nintendo, Xbox, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two, Warner Brothers, and Koch Media. It's a strong lineup, especially with the 2 platform holders on board. However, there are some notable absentees, including Sony, EA, Activision Blizzard, Sega, Bandai Namco, and Square Enix. The event takes place between June 12th and June 15th, so there is still time for other publishers to sign up. This year's show will be online only, but very little details are available besides that. The press release states that developers will be showcasing their latest news and games directly to fans around the world, with the ESA working with media to amplify and make this content available to everyone for free. GamesIndustry.biz understands that this may take form of media-only days and streaming technology. Quote, for more than 2 decades, E3 has been the premier venue to showcase the best that the video games industry has to offer, while uniting the world through games, said ESA CEO Stanley Pierre-Louis. We are evolving this year's E3 into a more inclusive event, but we'll still look to excite the fans with major reveals and insider opportunities that make this event the indispensable center stage for video games. It's been a challenging 12 months for the games event business, but E3 was under pressure even before the pandemic, with long-term supporter Sony announcing it wouldn't be attending the show last year prior to its COVID-related cancellation. The PlayStation company joined EA, which also hadn't supported E3 for several years. Now, I know we've talked about this since this news dropped earlier in the week, and I know we're all pretty hyped to see E3 back. But are we? Is this a response to the way that we were receiving press releases from last year and the feedback to that, do you reckon, you guys, or was this something that was going to be happening all along?
I think it's a mixture of both.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of feedback from last year saying it was too spread out. It's a difficult one, obviously, with 2 console reveals and releases last year as well. As well as a summer of games. It basically was like the reveals kind of just went on from March all the way through to like October. Like it was just constant reveals, and it became a bit diluted. So I feel like it's response to that, and it's a financial thing. You know, there's a lot. It's not only E3. Obviously, you pay to be at E3. There's a lot of sponsors for E3, so there'll have been pressure for them to get this back up and working, especially when these companies need to make money. So I think it's a business thing, this more than anything. And the other side of this is if Xbox, for example, had to put on their show, the cost would be greater if they had to do it all themselves. Whereas if they just pay E3, they pay to go to E3, they put on their show as they would, but they still save a lot of money, and a lot of the money they would have to upfront to put it on live on a server and all of this. It's easier for all these companies as well, so they're probably more happy to do this.
Vince, you excited for E3's return?
Oh yeah, I mean, digital's absolutely the way to go for this. I mean, especially now, because we have no idea if or when the pandemic situation is going to come to a close. What really excites me is that we're probably now just going to get trailers where we actually see the full trailer instead of cutting either at the very beginning or at the end to a studio audience, just filled to the brim where you can't see the screen anymore. They don't, have super important information there at the end. That'll probably be great. But I think with what we have now, being Nintendo, Xbox, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two, Warner Bros., and Koch Media, is actually, I mean, it's sparse for sure, but also has me worried that if the rest of them aren't doing E3, we might still have a spread out summer as well. Because who knows when Sony would do theirs, when EA is going to do theirs, when Square Enix is going to show anything else coming up. It could very well happen again that we get E3, a couple weeks later we get Sony, a few weeks later we get something else, and then something else is just going to be spread out again, which is going to be rough for sure, especially with us doing reactions as well to whatever we can or whatever we find interesting for sure. But I just kind of see it going the same way as last year, unfortunately. Yeah, we have this contained bit for these few studios, but it may very well end up being a repeat of last year.
I hope we get a bit more condensed stuff. I mean, like, because we didn't get like any kind of E3. We didn't have E3 last year, right? Or no,
we had Summer of Gaming and GDC, and then it was individual events. Showcases.
So I mean, you're gonna have that difference there with just at least, with the publishers that have already signed up with all those doing their showcases in a close like space, which is what everyone wants at the end of the day. And it is a bit like sad like that Sony aren't going to be doing it anymore. And I would like them. Obviously, they march to the beat of their own drum nowadays. But I would, if they could do theirs closer to those E3 dates, because I used to love how they would just kind of bookend that event. You'd always end with that. That would be the one I'd look forward to, and like especially the way they. I love like when they do their big orchestras, and like it would be like a big show, like and get the Year of Dreams with the just trailers and the soundtracks. It's amazing, and that's the kind of stuff that I love about E3. But I'm excited to see it back in some form at all, because for me the whole Summer of Gaming just didn't work for me. There was just too much, just kind of spread out throughout the year that nothing really stuck. Nothing stood out. There wasn't like this one big event. But I was saying to Adam the other day, it's just the weirdest thing when like I can't think of any other industry that has something similar to E3, where it's like all these rival companies just agree that they're going to just show all their stuff like in one closed space, like and not comparing it to something like CES where it's just like an actual show. Like this is a digital. Like they all of these publishers can, like as they did last year, could just put stuff out whenever they want throughout the year. But we as fans and gamers want it all within the same few days, because it's just always been like that's what it is. It's like a ritual. It's like an event to us.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the closest you could get, maybe from an external side, would be Comic-Con for films. You'll get, but it's nowhere near the same level of like how many things are released, and when it's purely all one genre of, like, obviously gaming. What excites me about this is there's a few interesting things from the list so far. Bethesda don't have their own show, so are they purely going in with Xbox for this show? Which are they? So they're not going to, which is a shame, because I like Bethesda show, because you usually get about 40 minutes of Blades, the Elder Scrolls game that nobody plays, and then it's hilarious to watch. So it's a shame that they're going to be kind of in with the Xbox show. Konami,
but surely that's going to just make an absolute epic Xbox show now, because Bethesda normally stand quite strong by themselves, but there is a lot of filler in there, because obviously they haven't got that number of games. But you chuck that in the Xbox show, and now you've got surely an Xbox show that can't like miss, you know.
Yeah, you'd think so. And then Konami, that's always going to be interesting to see what they bring to the table. But obviously, especially for myself, Take-Two being there, it's rare for Take-Two to be there. It could be a plethora of things. If I was a betting man, it would probably be the GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas remakes. I think that's probably what they're bringing to the table for it, and maybe something to do with Red Dead being remade for the new consoles as well, like they did with GTA 5, or maybe the original Red Dead Redemption. I can't imagine it's going to be GTA 6, sadly, even though I desperately want it to be, so I can win a prediction.
Even though that's on your predictions. That's on your predictions.
It's on my predictions. I did expect them to be E3. If they do, though, oh my God. But E3 is always exciting. And even though we're not seeing everything like you say, Vince, it's great to have a few days where it is just purely every day. There's going to be some big game announcements. And we know for those few days that we're going to get some of the biggest game announcements of the year. Not all of them. Yeah. But then you can see kind of like PlayStation as a bit of like you've got E3 as your Thanksgiving and PlayStation's your Christmas Day. You know, you've got something else to look forward to a little bit later on in the year. So I'm trying to stay positive. But yeah, I'm just happy E3's back. It's always great.
Yeah, I mean, this is Xbox's year to really they can just kind of take the spotlight, and they can absolutely smash it with their show this year. They could
90% Xbox in it, so
yeah. But we could have like literally it's all on them really. Like it could be the Xbox year of dreams, because they can just build on all the goodwill, everything they've been doing with Game Pass, and then put that on top. You know, chuck all those Bethesda games and everything. It's just going to be like them flexing their muscles, like for an hour or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah. Here's one question. Sorry, just before, I know we've got a lot to get through. What would Xbox need to do? What is the game that they need to probably show that it would make this a 100% home run? Is there what could Xbox do to solidify that no matter what PlayStation do later in the year, Xbox have had the biggest announcement? Because we've already know Halo's coming. It's when it comes could be anything. It's not going to be Halo.
I don't think it's one singular thing. They need to put their money where their mouth is and show a lineup of big AAA exclusive games. It's the one thing we're yet to see from them. These are this is the thing we always see at the PlayStation conference. Here's these big games. Like, look at these. Like, you can only get them here. That's the only thing we haven't seen. If they do that, they've literally they've got the full house. Like what else is there to prove? It's the one thing they've got to show.
True. I think it's such an interesting year for gaming, because Xbox, we know that PlayStation's has had a bit of a quiet beginning part of this. They've released a few things, but we know what's coming for PlayStation in terms of we know Horizon's coming, we know there's a new God of War. But if they throw into the mix, obviously their Uncharted and bring in a new Uncharted game, we see the next Spider-Man game, and anything else that they're working on. Obviously, there's a few other things that they're working on. That the pressure then falls straight back to Xbox. So you're absolutely right. They have to come out at E3 and say, these are the AAA exclusives we have, because we know the big hitters that PlayStation are coming with. So yeah,
well, I thought that was going to be last year. I thought that was going to be last year, the last show. Xbox is like when they showed, like I thought I was hyped for it. I was like, this is it. Like this is their moment. They've got to, because things had gone so quiet. We're like, okay, they've got to have been working on some new franchises because they've announced nothing, and there was nothing. There was literally just nothing. We saw obviously a bit of Halo, and I was like, what the hell? But obviously we know since then there's been a lot of deals going on, like they've bought Bethesda and all that kind of stuff. So they've been working on stuff. So now is your time to really, okay, here's what's coming. Like, here's what the reason to go out and go with this. Like, but we'll see. We'll see
what happens, because you want it to be both of them coming with their A game. That's just good for gamers. You don't want it to be a loser. You want it to be all winners, really.
But going back to Bethesda, on to story number 3, Deathloop has been delayed again. This is by Matt Purslow over at IGN.com. Arcane and Bethesda have announced that Deathloop has been delayed once more, pushing the time-looping immersive sim back to September 2021. In a video and written statement, game director Dinga Bakaba and art director Sebastian Mitten explained that Arcane has made the decision to delay Deathloop from May 21st to September 14th, 2021. Quote, we are committed to quality and preserving our team's ambitions for Deathloop while ensuring the health and safety of everyone at Arcane, reads the statement. We'll be using this extra time to accomplish our goal, create a fun, stylish, and mind-bending player experience. Originally, Deathloop was intended to release in the launch window of the PlayStation 5, and so was expected around November-December 2020. Arcane delayed the project Q2 2021, settling on the May 21st date. But now we'll have to wait a few more months, while September 14th being the new, with September 14th being the new date. As for the game release calendar, this moves Deathloop away from the upcoming Resident Evil Village and Mass Effect Legendary Edition, so there's now more space in your calendar for those. Either you guys surprised here on this news? Or no, I mean, sorry, go on, Vince. Don't want to cut you off.
To put it in perspective, we'll probably see this game around the time we see anything from GTA 6 at this point. Because it's been
so E3
so long. Yeah, right. I mean, that's probably when we'll get the next trailer for this, to be honest.
But, oh God, not another trailer.
I don't know how many times Sony can show any more Deathloop without just putting the game out, to be honest, because we've already seen too much of it to be excited for it. Because I mean, I was all in when I first saw it, but yeah, we keep seeing it and seeing it.
I feel like I've seen the game.
Yeah,
they need to lean in on it now. I make it a joke in the trailer where the narrator says the game that's been delayed again.
Right,
they're in a loop.
Yeah,
they are. It's unfortunate, but September is pretty wild. That's from May to September. How many months is that? Like 3-4 months?
Like 4 months, depending on
even then. Yeah, that's still roughly a year from when it was supposed to originally launch. I mean, that's pretty far back from their plan. So it makes me wonder, is this game hopefully going to come out in a playable state and not be the next Cyberpunk? Because if we remember, Cyberpunk was delayed and still came out awful. I mean, I'm sure they're trying to avoid that since it's, a Bethesda game as well, so it's going to have some bugs. Bethesda. But Arcane usually does put out some really good stuff, good quality stuff. And that's really what I'm hoping from this game. So if they can take this time to actually make it quality and not have another Cyberpunk on our hands, I'll be happy. Honestly.
Yeah. I think it's one of them. we've said it a few times now. I know we're going to say it again in this news because I know what else is coming up. You've got to give a grace period to these companies going with COVID. Things are going to get delayed, and if the game comes out and is in a good game and in a great state, then fantastic. But if the game comes out like Cyberpunk, then that's unacceptable. Have the delay but make the game work. So I just don't understand how this game can be that far off being ready. We've seen so much of it in the trailers. There can't be much left of the game.
No,
it's not as big as Cyberpunk.
Which says it all, really, at the state of game development at the moment. I mean, we're just seeing, I honestly, I can't see. We're probably going to get a handful of major games released this year, and it just shows what hit it's having on the industry, and that's going to have a knock-on effect, because what you're going to happen is going to have all these games which are going to normally the year is quite crowded out anyway in terms of releases, where everyone's trying to find their time to release, so they're not kind of overshadowed by anyone else. We're just going to have this backlog of games, and it's probably just going to shift everything back, a year to, as we've seen from this year. But yeah, so I don't think this is anything to do with the state of Bethesda Game Studios or anything like that. I'm sure Deathloop's going to be awesome. It looks amazing, but as you said, we've seen enough of it now. I don't want to see any more, because it's just it's too much. But it's tricky. It must be tricky for them. They got to keep it in the conscious of the public, so that it doesn't, when it finally does drop, people don't just forget about it. But yeah, this is just going to be an ongoing theme, which, as you said, Adam, takes us to our next story. So number 4, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga gets delayed indefinitely. And this is over at GameSpot by Eddie McCutch. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga has been delayed indefinitely after previously being scheduled for spring 2021 launch. According to Studio TT Games, the development team needs more time in order to I think that's an error there, for the game to live up to expectations. Those are certainly high, as the game bundles 9 films worth of content into a single package. As such, it won't release this spring as previously scheduled. Quote, all of us at TT Games are working hard to Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, the biggest and best Lego game, but we're going to need more time to do it, the developer said. The studio also thanked fans for their continued patience. The game was originally announced and shown off back at E3 2019, so it's been a very long time coming. The Skywalker Saga is unlike any Lego Star Wars game that came before it, and it's a truly massive game featuring nearly 500 Star Wars characters. And he goes on to describe more stuff in the game there. But this one, this was a bit of a disappointment, because, again, I mean, it wasn't surprised at all, but for myself personally, I've never played a Lego game before, but this is the one. Yeah, and I never played the original trilogy of Lego Star Wars, and then they did the prequel ones. And I always wanted to go back to them and do them, but then when I saw this was getting announced, and then obviously it's adding on the new saga as well, I thought, this is just perfect. Like, what a perfect package of games. So I'm 100% going to be playing through this with the kids. I think it'd be a great thing to play through. But does this game have any interest to you guys at all? Or
I suppose it has the interest on. I'd like to see what a Lego game they do for a Lego game on the current gen console. But I'm sure it'll be quite similar to the others, and if it is, I'll play it a little bit and then probably get bored of it more, if I'm being honest.
Really? So here's the thing. Here's my guilty pleasure is Lego games, for sure. Because for some reason, it's my jam. They're fun. They're cute. It's great. Especially, I wonder if they're going to do it the way they've been doing the newer Lego games. They're taking audio from the movies and putting it into the Lego games. Because before, when I think it was the first Lego Star Wars game came out, they didn't have the rights to any of the voicing, sounds, whatever. So literally all the cutscenes are just mimed. Nobody talks. It's just all the action is mimed. And it's the greatest thing ever because it takes an honor to Star Wars while also kind of making fun of itself at the same time.
Mm.
So I wonder if they're going to keep, 1 through 6 like that, or they're just going to have to revoice the whole thing.
Oh, I think Vince is frozen.
He's so happy about he's gone to play it straight away. He is just disappeared. He's like, I'm gonna go play Lego.
Oh, he's back again.
So there I am. I'm back. Yeah, absolutely go play any Lego game because it's great.
But continuing what you're saying there, Vince,
they're fun.
I think that they have taken the first 2 games, so it's the same gameplay, I believe. They might have tweaked some stuff, but they have completely redone, the visuals. I think from when I remember seeing the trailer, that they did. Unless I'm wrong, like it is the actual. They've got like cast members and doing the voices. I'm not sure. I might have made that bit up, but yeah, they've put a lot of love into like remaking this. I guess you could class it as a remake, but yeah, when it's ready, it's ready.
As long as they keep, as long as they keep my favorite joke in there, which was the "No, I am your father" part, because of course no voice acting. Darth Vader just literally holds up a photo of himself and Padme, points to it, then points to Luke, and then Luke just jumps off.
Okay.
It's hilarious in context. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love Lego games. They're fun.
Did not know that. There we go. We found a new soft spot of Vince's. He likes the Lego games.
Yeah.
On to story number 5. PlayStation game MLB The Show 21 launches on Xbox Game Pass day 1. This is over at Eurogamer by Wesley Yin Paul. PlayStation Studios MLB The Show 21 launches on Xbox Game Pass day 1, Microsoft has announced. MLB The Show 21 is the first PlayStation Studios game to launch on Xbox Game Pass. The deal also means PlayStation owners have to pay £60 for the Sony-developed MLB The Show 21, while Xbox owners can get it as part of their Game Pass subscription when it comes out on 20th of April. If you have Game Pass Ultimate, you can get MLB The Show 21 on your Android phone via the cloud. MLB The Show 21 already hit the headlines for being the first PlayStation Studios game to launch on Xbox. Microsoft said both MLB The Show 21 Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S standard editions will be included with Xbox Game Pass, so subscribers can play the best version regardless of which console they're on. MLB The Show 21 has cross-play and cross-progress too, so Xbox Game Pass subscribers can play PlayStation owners online. MLB The Show is the long-standing PlayStation exclusive franchise developed by Sony's San Diego studio. In December 2019, Sony and MLB announced a multi-platform video game partnership to bring the franchise to additional console platforms beyond PlayStation as early as 2021. The Microsoft Store page for MLB The Show lists MLB as the publisher and San Diego studio, Sony Interactive Entertainment America, as the developer. It looks like Microsoft has done a deal here with MLB rather than Sony itself. Still, the PlayStation Studios logo and Sony's San Diego studio are front and center on the MLB The Show box art and appear in Xbox promo videos pushing the game. It's a significant signing for Xbox Game Pass. Not only is MLB The Show coming to Xbox Game Pass day 1, but it's an entry in a series that was for years a PlayStation exclusive franchise. Microsoft has made a number of eye-catching Xbox Game Pass deals in recent months, including snapping up Outriders for launch. Sony has so far not announced MLB The Show 21 for its rival subscription service, PlayStation Now. What an absolute Twilight Zone of a story here, guys. This is just kind of the could we have predicted any of this like a year or two ago?
No. Not at all.
It's hard to keep up.
It's so strange. First of all, obviously we got the news that this was coming to Xbox. I mean, that was crazy enough. Like a PlayStation created, like a PlayStation developed game, which has been exclusive forever, is coming to Xbox. Now it's coming to Game Pass for like you're going to get it for free. Whereas if you buy it on a PlayStation, you got to pay for it. It's crazy.
Yep. And it's a deal that we kind of saw coming, though, right? Well, not really, but it's maybe a sign for what we might get in the future, because we've been discussing this with like Bethesda, right? That if they say multi-platform, it might be Game Pass day one, and it might be paid on other consoles. So this might be a sign of that. They might be testing the waters with this too, to see how that kind of goes.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think that PlayStation will have to put this on PlayStation now, or include it in PlayStation Plus. At least, I think they'd have to, because there'll be too much of a bad taste in PlayStation owners' mouths. If a PlayStation Studios game, you can play it for free on an Xbox, but not on the PlayStation, it just doesn't make sense not to have even if it's a timed free thing like PlayStation Plus, you can pick it for the month and then you've got it for free. They've done it with Oddworld, so you imagine they can do it. They've done it with some new games a few times. I think it's the only way that this comes out as an okay story for PlayStation, really. But it's good for Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, but I mean, this isn't like, as we heard, it's MLB that obviously have pushed this because they want this on as many consoles as possible. So this is PlayStation's had no say in this, which is just the weirdest thing ever, because obviously they're developing the game. But yeah, I don't know. I can't see them making it free because they're going to need that money. It sells quite well normally on PlayStation, so to just kind of give it away. I don't know. This kind of they're in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation here, really. But I mean, yeah, great, absolutely great for Xbox owners, and I'm sure there'll be a big player base there. Being, Xbox does generally have a big install base in America, which is, let's face it, pretty much the main place this is going to sell. Yeah, so interesting stuff. It's just so weird. Moving on to more Microsoft news. Story number 6. Microsoft adds touch controls to 50 plus titles in Xbox Game Pass's cloud-enabled lineup. This is over at Eurogamer by Matt Wales. Microsoft has given a wide selection of Xbox Game Pass titles a mobile-friendly makeover, introducing new touch control options to over 50 games in its current cloud-enabled lineup, including Sea of Thieves, Gears 5, Dragon Quest 11S, Killer Instinct, and more. Microsoft's first touch-enabled Xbox title, Microsoft Dungeons, launched last September. Quote, since then, the company writes in its announcement post, touch controls remain one of the top requested features for cloud gaming to unlock new ways to play on your Android mobile devices without the need for an external controller. To that end, Microsoft says it's now implemented touch controls in 54 games from its existing range of cloud-enabled Xbox titles. And Xbox Game Pass subscribers can put those efforts through their paces by downloading the Game Pass app to their Android devices. There's a full list of the games over on Eurogamer, but this is just another thing where I'm just like, what we were saying with the E3 thing, all Xbox have to do now is come out with the bangers, because what they are doing is so like night and day between what PlayStation do. PlayStation doing the opposite. This is coming from a PlayStation fan. Like, I've loved the company since the original PlayStation come out, but they are falling behind with the times. What Xbox are doing with making, with Game Pass, being able to stream all of the games, now like being able to play them on Android and give them touch controls, like they're moving the way of the future, which is, let's face it, this is the way that everything's going to go eventually. In the future, it's just going to be, doesn't matter where you got the game on, you can play it on any device, wherever you want. And they're already getting that already now. And if you look at the list of games that they've included, like games that you would not imagine, or you imagine be so hard to convert to touch controls, like Gears 5, like Guacamelee 2, like Killer Instinct. Microsoft, obviously they've already got Microsoft Dungeons there, but like Sea of Thieves, like what the hell? Like these games should not be easily implemented with touch controls, but they've done it. It's done, and they've just kind of dropped it. And it's just like, so there you go. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But
I might have to give that a try now.
yeah,
I have Game Pass on my phone.
Yeah, it's making me,
Let's see how
because
well
this
that
is the stuff that I'm excited about for Game Pass. It's the cloud streaming, because I'm not necessarily going to go out and buy an Xbox right now, but I've got a decent internet connection. If I can stream them to devices and play them, hell yeah, just sign me up. You know, I want to play some of these games that I can't get on PlayStation, even if I just like get an Xbox controller and I just like hook them up to my phone or whatever. You know, just it doesn't matter if I can like stream them on my PC, on my TV. Like they're just making these moves. It's just like I don't know. It's just crazy to me, and I can't ever imagine, in the way that the mindset of PlayStation is in right now, of them doing anything similar to this. It's just they're just doing stuff like kind of leap and bounds technology wise. But Adam, when you signing up to Game Pass?
Well, I have Game Pass already, but obviously for
I forget you.
Previous generation. But yeah, the argument's getting stronger and stronger to buy the new console quicker than I was planning on doing it, because at the moment their fan service is incredible. Like, and that's what PlayStation are lacking, like you said yourself. So yeah, it's great for Microsoft. I just wish PlayStation would read the room a little bit and you know, do some of these things themselves. But hey ho.
Hey ho, indeed. Hey ho, indeed.
Yeah.
On to story number 7. New Resident Evil Showcase event set for April 15th. This is over at Polygon, and the story is by Ryan Gilliam. Capcom is planning its second Resident Evil news dump of the year, including another trailer for Resident Evil Village, the next mainline Resident Evil game. The April 15th live stream will also feature a few other surprises as well, according to Thursday's teaser trailer. The April Resident Evil Showcase will air at 6 p.m. EDT, 3 p.m. PDT on Capcom's YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook channels. As with the company's Resident Evil Showcase event in January, Brittany Bombacher, is it Bombacher?
Brombacher.
I think so.
Brombacher, that's it. Brombacher, that's it. I always pronounce it wrong. Of What's Good Games will serve as host. Resident Evil Village producer Sayoshi Kanda and director Morimasa Sato, I'm sure I butchered those, will also appear in the presentation. In the announcement trailer for the showcase, Brombacher promised more Resident Evil news on Capcom's behalf, with the Resident Evil Reverse open beta running over this coming weekend. It's currently unclear what this new surprise would be. So yeah, we're going to get more. It seems weird as well, because when we first started Shifty Crab, one of our first videos was reacting to the January event, and now we're on to the next one. We're on to the next one. But Adam, are you excited at all? I know you said you hadn't played the previous, Resident Evil 7. Are you getting more interested the more we see of this, or?
I like the tall vampire lady. She's cool. But the game itself, I think I'll prefer to watch someone play it than play it myself. I'm interested. It looks like it's going to be a fun game. It's just not my sort of game to play. Resident Evil has never really clicked for me because I'm not a survival horror. I'm not that sort of player, really. I don't like games that have jump scares. I like to enjoy my game time, not fear for my life as I'm playing. But I don't mind watching it. So it looks like it's going to be a good game, and I hope it is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the live event. I always like to see what they're doing. And a live event's always fun.
Yeah.
Vince, I know you're going to be all over this, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what's got me interested is the surprise announcement. So I know they just wrapped filming the next live action movie, or the live action reboot Resident Evil movie. So, not getting my hopes up too high for, Code Veronica remake or Resident Evil 4 remake. I'm going to call that surprise as being a trailer for that movie. Just because I think, oh yeah. Because,
what are you hopeful for, though?
What am I hopeful for? Code Veronica remake, for sure. Such an underrated game. Not much love given to it. I want to see a remake of that before 4. Because even though I love 4 is great, I think we need to see a Code Veronica before 4. Honestly.
I'd love to see it. I would love to see that. Would be cool. I just don't see. I don't think it has that. Code Veronica is that unloved. Like it's the black sheep of the family, isn't it? It's like it hasn't got the fan base there. And yeah, I would love to see it, but what I hope and can also see happening more is just at the very end of the showcase, they just show the number 4 and people lose their shit. Yeah. People lose their shit. But yeah, Code Veronica would be awesome. As a Code Veronica fan, I would love to see them. And it would be a good opportunity to take a game that is great and that a lot of people, I guess, didn't play. In comparison to like Resident Evil 2, 1, 2, and 3, and then 4. And yeah, bring it back to the masses again and show them, look, this is what you guys missed out on, because it's kind of the unsung hero of the franchise, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they brought Resident Evil 0 back as part of the Origins collection. So why not bring Code Veronica back? Yeah,
I never played 0. I want to get on that. Yeah, because I remember when that first came out on the GameCube, I was like, this looks awesome, and I need to get on it. But a lot of people say it's not as good as 1 remake, so
it's all right. I still enjoyed it. You know, I'm a Resident Evil fan. Of course, I enjoyed it, but yeah.
Moving on to other classic franchises, Pac-Man 99, a battle royale like Pac-Man game, out now on Nintendo Switch. This is over at GameSpot by Kevin Nesvik. Nintendo and Bandai Namco have released a new battle royale style Pac-Man game for Switch called Pac-Man 99, much like Tetris 99. The title is available as a free download exclusively for Nintendo Switch Online subscribers, with offline modes offered as optional paid DLC. As with the aforementioned Tetris 99, the Pac-Man 99 is a 99-player take on the classic arcade game. Each player will vie to be the last Pac-Man remaining as they navigate a maze and avoid the pursuing ghosts. Any ghost that you defeat will be sent to the other player's screens as a jammer Pac-Man. Bumping into one of these will reduce the player's movement speed, making them more vulnerable. Another new wrinkle in Pac-Man 99 is sleeping ghosts. As explained in the announcement trailer, chomping these ghosts will cause them to multiply and form a ghost train, setting you up to chomp them all in one fell swoop after you grab the power pellet. You can watch the full trailer for Pac-Man 99 below on the link. Pac-Man 99 officially launched at 6 p.m. PT, 9 p.m. ET on April 7th. As previously mentioned, the game is a free download for Nintendo Switch Online members, so you need a subscription to download and play it. And then blah, 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 just goes into more details there. But you guys Pac-Man fans at all?
I don't mind having a go on Pac-Man every once in a while. I tell you what, I didn't need a Pac-Man fucking battle royale. Like, it's just not needed. Just give it. You know, they did Tetris battle royale.
I like the sound of this.
No.
I don't have a Switch and I'm jealous. I want to get on this because I think this suits the battle royale genre more than Tetris did. And Tetris 99 was apparently quite cool. Did you guys play that?
It was a cool game to play, yeah, but it's so stressful. So stressful. And this is just going to be even more stressful. Pac-Man is already a stressful game. Like when you get into it and you're chasing a high score, it is fucking stressful. Now adding the battle royale element to it, nah, I'm out.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't play Tetris 99. I probably won't give this a shot either. Just because Pac-Man's okay for a while, but adding more stress onto it, no thanks. No thanks. Plus the paid DLC is kind of interesting. Like,
yeah, that's weird. That's
looking at it. Offline mode pack costs $15, themes $2.
But why would you play it offline? Why would you get a battle royale Pac-Man game to play it offline?
I guess it depends on what the offline pack is.
Other people.
What?
Other people make games worse. They ruin games.
Pac-Man Championship Edition on the PlayStation 3. My God, put some time into that. And me and the wife used to play that a lot. Like, and we both got really good at it. It would be like passing the controller to each other, like so you can beat each other's score. But that is probably it's my favorite like version of Pac-Man I've ever played. So good. I never played the sequel to that too, but That's on the PS4, but it's not compatible with PS5. Another misstep there from Sony. So because I would pick that up now and play on the PlayStation 5. But there you go. Do like a bit of Pac-Man though. On to our next story.
Here we go.
Yeah, on to our next story. A full 4K remaster of Time Splitters 2 was hidden inside Homefront: The Revolution. This is over at PC Gamer by Natalie Clayton. This was a fun one. I just had to chuck in, obviously. Yeah, as you said, Adam. Homefront: The Revolution's hidden Time Splitters 2 remake apparently included far more than the 2 levels we already knew about. Unfortunately, it seems the key to access the full game were lost years ago in a Discord ban. That revelation came courtesy of former Crytek developer Matt Phillips, responding to the ex-Vlambeer designer JW Nijman's call for the developer to share Easter eggs they'd hidden in games. There are some beauties in there too, from the Division's Ninja Turtles to Dragon Age 2's Giant Cheese Wheel. But as Eurogamer spotted, Phillips replied with the suggestion that much more of Homefront's Time Splitters throwback was intended to be playable in native 4K, no less. Fully featured really did mean fully... Oh, so on Twitter, Matt Phillips put, my proudest moment, fully playable native 4K port of Time Splitters 2 hidden in this arcade machine in Homefront: The Revolution. Fully featured really did mean fully featured too. Quote, I ported the network stack to ride on top of Homefront: The Reckoning's co-op mode. That's a big if, anyone was able to hack 2 or more arcades into one of the co-op maps, it will boot the multiplayer menu. God damn. Don't bother trying to hunt down the access code, though. Not even Phillips has it written down anymore. The developer did hand it to a friend once, but the suggestion that Homefront included all of Time Splitters 2 was apparently so unbelievable that a Discord server banned their account. Quote, the unlocked code has been lost into time. I don't have the notebook with it anymore. I once gave it to a friend to leak in some Discord channel, and they called him a liar and banned his account. Unfortunate too, considering THQ Nordic has no plans to remaster the 2002 classic. But if you're looking for a Time Splitters fix, fan-developed throwback mod Time Splitters Rewind is still ticking along quietly in its aim to modernize all 3 original games. Yeah, that's not... by the way, Time Splitters Rewind... I've been watching that bloody project go on for longer than a decade, and I've yet to see anything to come out of that yet, other than a few renders of some levels and stuff. But yeah, I just thought it was quite a funny one, really, that they hid that in there. A 4K, the whole game. Just release that. Oh my God. Please. Please.
That would have been great.
At least you guys could have appreciate its like wonderfulness in all its fidelity. And on to our final story, which this is one that I know Adam's going to be pleased about a lot. Alex Kidd in Miracle World remake gets June release date. Again, it's over at Eurogamer, and this is by Matt Wales. Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX, developer Jank Team's remake of the much-loved Sega Master System classic will be making its way to PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch on 24th of June. The original Alex Kidd debuted on the Master System 3.5 decades ago, back in 1986. Apologies to those out there suddenly feeling very old. And charted the adventures of the titular martial artist as he sets off to rescue King Thunder's son. Those adventures manifested as a bright, breezy puzzle platformer, one which Eurogamer's Christian Donlan described as fucking great to me earlier, if you're looking for some kind of quality gauge. And Jank Team's remake will offer all that plus more. Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX will feature additional levels, new boss fights, and a boss rush mode, as well as a reimagined and remastered music, plus the option to switch between the remake's pleasing new art style and a recreated version of the original's visuals. Old-timers will likely also notice improvements to combat and movement alongside new menu systems. Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX will cost £14.99, €19.99 and $19.99 when it comes to PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox X, Series X, S, and Switch on 24th of June. So I'm taking you're going to be picking this up, Adam, because this was when we were discussing our earliest gaming memories. I believe Alex, this was yours, right?
Yeah. I remember little Adam sat there with my little Sega Master System controller. I remember learning the cheat that you could go under the octopus, and go into a secret level. I remember always trying to win the rock, paper, scissors, and oh god, I cannot wait for this. I'm not gonna lie, I think the price of games are ridiculous. But if they turn around and said this is £60, $60, I'm like, yep, here you go, just for that nostalgia trip. But to only be £15 and $20, yeah, please, right now, please, thank you. Oh my god, I didn't know this was even a thing. Did not know this was even a thing.
I remember this being announced and seeing a trailer for it, but I'd completely forgotten about it until I saw this news. So yeah, this was a nice surprise.
I'm sure this is going to be one of those days when I play this with just the biggest smile on my face. I am excited.
Is this before your time, Vince? Did you play any the Master System at all? Or?
Oh no. Definitely was a Nintendo household. So NES and 64, all that we had. Never had a Sega system until the Dreamcast, which
my condolences.
I have the Dreamcast for a while, but yeah, there was all PlayStation and Xbox after that. So.
Yeah.
Do you have a PlayStation 4?
Yeah, I have a PlayStation.
Oh, you can play this on the PlayStation Now. It's on PlayStation Now, available to play right now.
But why not wait for the remaster?
True. But then you can compare.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Did you play this? Terry?
So I never had a Master System, but I had before I had a Mega Drive, which was my first home console.
Yeah.
I had friends I used to play with that had a Master System, so I would go. I had a friend who had a NES, and which I would go and play Mario, and that was my first kind of gaming memory. But I had some friends that also had a Master System, so I remember playing Alex Kidd. I don't remember playing through it all, but I remember playing bits of it. And what were some other games that I played? The Master System version of Sonic, which wasn't very good, but I know it has its fans. But yeah, I remember playing a bunch of other. I can't remember I don't think it was Afterburner, but it was an Afterburner type game. Do you remember that one? It had a jet on the front of it. I
played that. Yeah.
I did play a bunch.
It was just a jet game, but you're on rails basically. It just you can barely do it. Yeah, it was really cool.
But I do. And I did play. I played Alex Kidd a couple of years ago actually at a game. It was a game convention. It was in Norwich, and I was playing it and doing the rock paper scissors. But I've actually got a Master System and a Master System 2 back there, and Alex Kidd's built into. Is it the Master System 1 or 2? I can't remember. It's built into one of them.
Master System 2 it's built into. That's the one I had.
Yeah.
With the little where it had a little cover over the cartridge tray.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
the one is huge.
Yeah. The one was before my time because that came out in 1986. I had the Master System 2. I was born in 88 and I had the Master System 2. I used to play that. I used to play Outrun.
Yes.
The original Outrun, Outrun, I think, originally launched on there. Asterix and Obelix.
Yeah.
I'd play those games. Bringing back some of these retro ones. There's I can't remember where I saw it the other day, but did you ever play a game called Nemo?
Nemo?
Nemo in Dreamland, it was called.
Nemo. What is his Master System or?
I think it was Master System. No, this was Nintendo. This is the Super Nintendo, I think. Let me have a look.
I don't know this.
Nemo in Dreamland. Oh, is it Slumberland or Dreamland? I don't know. Slumberland.
Slumberland.
Little Nemo and the Adventures in Slumberland. It was released.
I'm I'm having a look now. There's a film.
Yeah,
it was a
it's
film as well, yeah, but there was a game.
Hmm.
I believe it was on the SNES.
I've never
On the
even
SNES.
heard of this.
Never heard of this.
The Dream Master, Little Nemo, the Dream Master on the NES. That game like was my childhood as well, and then Bucky O'Hare, like which we'll probably go over everybody's head. Bucky O'Hare was an incredible game. That was on the SNES.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Yeah, but yeah, so this
Never heard of it.
big nostalgia trip. Excited. Let's go.
Excited. Let's go. And it's time for us to go, guys, because that wraps up all of our news stories for this week's news break until we will be back next Friday. But before then, we'll be back on your screens and on your YouTube channel for our Sunday Funday challenge, which who knows what Vince has got in store for us. We don't know yet. Only Vince does in his crazy mind, whatever he's concocted for us and Adam to kind of go through. So we're looking forward to that. And of course, don't forget on Monday, it will be the new campaign mode, which we will be discussing. I think this week we're discussing, what did we do this week?
Games. It was game series, game series that we would want to be revived.
Yeah. So we can choose to revive any game franchise that has died. So yeah, that was a very good one to do. So look forward to that. But until then, I have been Terry Jefferson. I have been joined by Mr. Vince Haley and Mr. Adam Very.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time. Until then, stay shifty.